Hello, I'm Bishop William Medley of the Diocese of Owensboro, and I'm pleased to welcome you to another edition of Across the Diocese. Today, my guest is Danny May, who is the Director of Marriage and Family Life in the Diocese, and we're going to talk about a new initiative coming from your office, and the subject of that is pornography.
That's right.
And I think some people will say, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect to tune in to see the bishop and hear about pornography. But pornography is pervasive in our culture, most especially the online versions of that today. So what got your attention and began your look into this as something the church needs to address?
Right. Well, when I came into the Office of Marriage and Family Life, this was an issue that was really on my heart. It was really something that I thought that we needed to pay attention to from both a marriage perspective, because it's a rising cause of divorce in America, the effects of pornography, and then also obviously, like you mentioned, the family aspect, especially with young kids having access to technology and cell phones and iPads and everything like that, and just how pervasive pornography is and how easily accessible pornography is, and earlier and earlier ages for first exposure. So the church has been talking about this quite a bit. The USCCB put out a document called Creating Me a Clean Heart in 2015, which was a pastoral plan for dioceses and parishes to address this issue. So I went back and read that right when I came into this office and started to talk to other dioceses and just see what kind of plan we could put together here. And of course, that clean heart comes from Psalm 51, creating me a clean heart.
I know from my perspective as a priest and a bishop, priests often discuss the frequency with which this is a matter of confession. That young boys, some pre-adolescent, to old men particularly. There are some women who will confess this or speak of it, but it's become a real moral burden to them. And as you said, it's a family and marriage life issue because of the impact it's having on marriages and relationships. But also the fundamental of Catholic social teaching is that God created them, male and female. He created them in the divine image.
That's right.
So when we sully that image by a misrepresentation of what human sexuality is, we've assaulted human dignity.
That's right.
And it's certainly the human dignity of the participants in the production of pornography. There's no doubt about that. And I think we know statistically that these people are being exploited. Oftentimes they're the victims of human trafficking.
That's right.
But even the participant, his or her human dignity is assaulted. The dignity of the sacrament of marriage is assaulted. Parenting is assaulted. It creates in young people who, as you noted, are finding this at younger and younger ages. Yes. They cannot develop a wholesome recognition of what human sexuality is because every image they see of it is distorted.
That's right.
And I think as I've talked about this, unless a person is themselves exposed to pornography or they've encountered it with their children, there's a tendency to not see the issue as very important. So a boy looked at a dirty picture or picked up a dirty magazine. Well, with the internet, this is magnified so many times beyond that to be so destructive and so accessible that it's really the church cannot not speak about it. So
right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And that's why the way I picture it, when Pope Francis and you are calling us to living as missionary disciples and missionary discipleship, I see Clean Heart really being one of those accompaniment pieces to where we're trying to, as a diocese and as a church, walk with families and walk with parents and accompany them through this issue that is just not easy to deal with, and it kind of takes people by surprise. And the good news is there is hope, there is healing, and there are a lot of resources out there that are available. The website really is what I consider the centerpiece to this whole thing. There are a few parishes who are piloting this initiative in their parishes, but the website is ready. Our communications team has done an excellent job on the website. It's ready to go. People can use it right now. And so what we've done is designed it to really help two particular populations, one being parents, to help parents have this conversation with their young people, hopefully early and often, hopefully so that it's an ongoing conversation that they have and not just a one-time conversation when they're a junior in high school or something like that. So we have resources on the website, you know, particularly books and things that parents can use when talking with their children about the issue of pornography, whether it's they haven't seen it yet, so they're trying to prepare them and more of a preventative conversation, or if the young people have been exposed and they don't know what to do about it, don't know how to feel about it, and are confused by it, then we have parent guides and resources for parents to have this conversation with their young people if they have been exposed to it. So that's the one population. The other population is people that, like you were mentioning a while ago, that do struggle with the issue of pornography personally. And just,
it's an addiction.
Yeah, it really does. It really affects your brain just like an addiction. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. So if someone is struggling with this personally and they keep coming to confession hoping that helps and keep coming back hoping that helps, a lot of people need more help than that, especially if it's an early onset thing, if it's something that's been going on for years and years. And so that's the other part of the website, is really to give people resources to help them, either personal accountability through apps or recovery programs, whether that's face-to-face, like a 12-step group, or an online recovery program that's a little more anonymous, but you can kind of self-explore through that online. And even accountability and filtering software and those types of things are all pretty well spelled out on the website and easily to get.
Okay, well, thank you, Danny. I hope there will be people that will now go to the website and access this, especially parents. I can only say it astounds me when I encounter a youth in confession to find out no one's monitoring what they're looking at. Yeah. Dangerous, dangerous. So if we accomplish nothing else by our conversation, if one or two parents takes a look at where their sons and daughters are looking and helps them not in a judgmental way, but in a parental way,
that's right,
we'll have accomplished a lot.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Bishop Medley.